Hello, everybody. All right, welcome to the Mikestand. Today is Tuesday, January 23rd, 2024. So, of course, we're going to give people a chance to come in here. Um, just a reminder, if you guys haven't already, if you can like and share the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people in here. That'd be appreciated. Also, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and/or ask questions, and I will try to answer the questions to the best of my ability. So that said, we're just gonna wait a couple minutes here, let people. Hopefully, we can get some people to show up, and then I'll talk about what's on tap for tonight. And we got quite a few stories. Actually, we got quite a few stories to go over tonight. So I'm going. Um, we'll be doing that. We got like four stories we're gonna go over, but I'll talk more about that when we get there. And I'm just sending out some last minute reminders to people just to see if they'll drop by to say hi. So I hope everybody's having a good week thus far. Everybody's having a good, productive week, trying to do everything they can to make the world a better place, as we all want to do, right? All right, so now that's done for the moment. Let's see now. So 2.5 minutes. So yeah, all right. So I guess We're coming up on 3 minutes here, so I guess I'll go over what's on tap for tonight. So of course, we're going to on tonight's Mikestand. We're going. Of course, we got, as I said, we got four articles we're going to go over. One from Bounding into Comics, and then the other three from Bleeding Fool. Including we're going to open up with kind of a follow up to a story we were talking about last night. Is I guess the latest season of the Masters of the Universe Revolutions is due to come out Thursday here. So, of course, news is picking up there. Now we got Kevin Smith with some commentary on it. We'll look into that. Also, on the comics front, um, the Eisner Awards have decided to drop the Comic Journalism Award, and there are a few people who are not happy about that. We'll get into that. Dynamite Entertainment is releasing the first issue of Thundercats, which is said to be their biggest launch in the company's history, from what I can recall the headline. And Amazing Spider-Man #1 picks up a pretty penny at auction. So that plus, of course, the wrestling wrap up, as we'll go over some of the latest news heading into this Saturday's Royal Rumble from WWE. See what happened on last night's Monday Night Raw. Talk a little bit about AEW, and then of course this day in each history at the end, towards the end of the show. So with all that being said, let me just do one more thing here real quick, and then we will get started here. All right, so let me just do Let me check one last time here. Alright, nothing new there. Alrighty then. So, with all that being said and done, why don't we go ahead and get into the first article here? Instead, going over to bounding into comics here. We're gonna this is kind of a follow up to article we went over last night. Kind of the add on article, as it were. Let's see. Masters of the Universe Revolution showrunner Kevin Smith defends Revelation's focus on Tila over He-Man. Quote, we really went out of our way to honor what it was that people loved about Masters. Okay. I don't, not that Tila was a hated character or anything like that, but I don't know if people really wanted or needed the focus to be on Tila when the original show was He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. You know, article by Spencer McCulley published earlier today. Let's see. So Chris Wood providing the voice of He-Man and Sarah Michelle Gellar providing the voice of Tila in this. Let's get into this. Despite the absolutely massive rejection of the move among fans, Masters of the Universe Revolution showrunner Kevin Smith remains proud of his decision to focus the preceding Revelation series on Tila instead of He-Man, as according to him, the choice was not made out of malice, but rather a way to, in quote, to honor what it was that people loved. Okay, granted, I know even as a kid, I thought Tina was a pretty lady, along with the sorceress and Queen Marlena and even Evelyn, but you still didn't. They still knew not to focus on those characters when the show says He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Okay. About the franchise's original outing. The ever cheerful creative offered this defense of his previous dance with the franchise while speaking with SFX magazine in promotion of Revolution's upcoming January 25th premiere date, which is 2 days from now, folks, just so you know. Asked if he had any regrets over the previous series relegating He-Man to second fiddle behind Tila, Smith asserted, quote, I knew there are a lot of people that went after Revelations for putting Tila first or whatever, but we didn't. Tila was as much a part of the story as she's always been a part of the story. As a supporting character, yes. Okay? As a supporting character and as kind of the dropping of the hints of her being He-Man's love interest, potentially, Prince Adam slash He-Man's love interest, even though, again, since back in the 80s, that was a kid's cartoon, that wasn't really pushed a whole lot. And then maybe the whole storyline of her being Sorceress's daughter and her eventually inheriting the mantle of Sorceress, that yes, from that could have been a very interesting thing to explore. However, not at the expense of getting rid of He-Man. So, quote, I thought it would be a cool aspect of storytelling to remove the center of our universe for a few episodes and then bring him back, unquote. He further explained, that what most people call that? Most people call that a bait and switch. you kind of promoted that this was going to be a He-Man series, and then you kill him off and keep him um, out of the episodes there, and then bring him back again. So he further explained to the publication, quote, "That wasn't me going in bracket, let's break this franchise by any stretch of the imagination." But that's exactly what you did, Kevin. That's exactly what you did. People who wanted to attack the show were like, in the smaller quotes, they killed He-Man on the smaller quote. But it wasn't as if Mattel or Netflix were saying, in smaller quotes, "Here, man, go kill a franchise for us." I'm sure if you did, well, I'm sure if Mattel did, they would have told you, "No, thank you, Kevin. You can go back to whatever little dark hole you crawled out of. That's why we brought you here." Unquote. Naturally, He-Man was always going to come back. Unquote. So, Skeletor, voiced by Mark Hamill. That's interesting. Mark Hamill has been known to be some pretty crazy villains. Of course, aside from Skeletor in this series, he was also, of course, the Joker and Batman in the DCAU universe, and he was also Hobgoblin in Spider-Man, the anime back in the 90s. So, proceeding to further double down on what remains arguably one of the most notorious creative blunders of his entire career, Smith then opined, quote, "Everything we did in He-Man's absence and when we brought him back still tied in heavily with the lore," unquote. No, I don't remember even with the She-Ra series when I was a kid, because I watched both the He-Man and the She-Ra, the Filmation's He-Man and She-Ra series. They never really outright tried to push any kind of like unlike the She-Ra series from about 4 or 5 years ago. They didn't never push the kind of like um, pro LGBT agenda. So let's see. Quote, "I am a person who has enjoyed the franchise or two in his lifetime." Yeah, right. Press exit out. "And naturally, I enjoy it when they respect the things have gone before," unquote, concluded the showrunner. Quote, "We really went out of our way to honor what it was that people loved about Master of the Universe. Many people would say you didn't. Everybody involved had skin in the game. As to whether this would be a reinvention of the franchise or a spiritual continuation of the franchise. We were all in the latter camp. They felt it was no. What it was you did in fact reinvent it." Yet, though Smith claims that the decision to shift the series' focus away from its main character was done out of, in small quote, respect for its history, lore, and fans, his actions decidedly speak otherwise, and his actions show a distinct pattern of in smaller quotes, storytelling by subversion. For example, in addition to Tila taking center stage, Revelations not only saw Prince Adam's choosing to protect Eternia by pretending to be, in smaller quotes, dead, while he recovered from his last battle with Skeletor, treated by his red-headed love interest as a purely selfish and emotionally abusive act, but also killed off Orko, per Smith's own words, for nothing more than shock value. The thing about Orko in the franchise, okay, so when Orko's character, the reason a lot of people, particularly those of us who grew up watching the original He-Man back in the 80s, okay, Orko was the one character, and even in the 2002 um, Michael White Productions, I hope I'm getting the guy's name right there, the 2002 um, version, Orko was always the character who could kind of more directly relate to the kids watching at home, much like Lookie for the She-Ra series, right? These were characters who were kind of brought in to kind of like relate to the kids more, a little more directly. Okay, and if you're gonna kill off that kind of character, you're real. It's the old jumping the shark bit, I believe, right? For shock fight. Yeah, let's kill off the one character in the series who who basically is our portal to our core audience, the kids, right? Yeah. Suffice to say, these don't seem like the acts of someone who genuinely cares about the franchise and its fans. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It does not. Killing off a beloved character like Orko, who is kind of the connector to the kids. That's it's like basically you're saying, okay, we're gonna kill kids. All right, that's kind of the take I have on it. Going out and basically Kevin Smith seems to be calling for um, pedicide. So um, suffice to say, these okay, yeah, we read that part. Um, Rather, someone more focused on cheaply establishing themselves within the annals of a franchise history by subverting expectations than making an actual effort to endear themselves to history with a genuinely good piece of work. However, in the interest of fairness, it should be noted that there is a genuine possibility that Smith truly believes his work on Revelations was done out of love and respect of the franchise. Yeah, doesn't doubt. I don't doubt that. After all, as evidenced by the fact that he praised the Flash's ghoulish CGI reviving of Christopher Reeve and George Reeves' respective versions of Superman, quote, "It didn't feel like an insult," unquote, he told Rolling Stone. Quote, "That felt like a homage. Um, it's not out of the question that after years of mindlessly cheering on every poor production decision made by numerous film studios and comic book publishers, he actually thinks that simply, in smaller quotes, doing something new with a character, in smaller quote, is the utmost sign of respect. Logic and lore be damned." All right. As noted above, for any fan willing to roll the dice on more Smith-led adventures in Eternia, Masters of the Universe Revolutions hits Netflix on January 25th. That's 2 days from today, folks. Oh, there we go. So let's see if we hit. Nope, not yet. As I said, if one, if you haven't already, if you can like and share the stream, so we can get some more friendly people involved. Also, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions. We'll try to answer the questions to the best of our ability. So, with all that being said, then let's get ready to move on to the next story. As now we'll be having some comic stories ahead here. 3 of them. He might be going pretty quick for. see, we're 20 minutes into this, so. All right, so we got three very interesting stories that happened over the last couple of days here in the comics realm. So we're gonna look at those right now. Um, okay, so this one's the first one here. All right, clout chasing cancel pigs cry as Eisner's drop Comics Journalism Award. Article by Avi Green published yesterday, the 22nd. So basically, as everybody knows, Eisner Awards are basically comics version, I guess, of the like the Academy Awards, the Grammys, all that. They're basically the big award show for comic books, and they've decided to drop the Comics Journalism Award. So let's see what's going on here. So according to Avi here, Clownfish TV reported last week that the Eisner Awards are canning the quote unquote comics journalism category at their annual ceremonies. So, and I guess this is from the Clownfish report on it. Um, comic book journals get booted from Eisner Award. So, comic book cancel pigs can officially mourn the loss of comic book journalism, um, in parentheses, that they caused, as even the San Diego Comic Con doesn't think comic book news sites are important enough to be given their own category this year. Okay? There is much weeping and gnashing of teeth, and some are sad they can't wear their best dress to the Eisners anymore. Hmm. Let's see now. Additional context. The 2024 Eisner Awards, a prestigious event in the comic book industry, have sparked controversy with their decision to eliminate the quote comics related periodical journalism category unquote. This move has been met with with dismay by many in the comics journalism community, um, as it represents a significant shift in how the Eisners, often referred to as the Oscars of the comic book world, which is what I kind of had a feel. That's how I even though I didn't know it was a more widely accepted thought on it, but I even drew that comparison. Recognize excellence in the field. So that was from the Clownfish article, Clownfish TV article. So now back to Avi talking here. Let's see, and as always, feel free if anything here grabs your attention. Feel free to comment and or ask questions. We'll try to answer the questions to the best of our ability. Also, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to or if you haven't already, if you can like and share the stream as well, see if we can get some more friendly people in here to engage. That'd be appreciated as well. Anyways, except that they likely haven't in a long time. I vaguely recall the Eisner gave awards to Identity Crisis in 2005, and if such a vulgar comic is their choice for awards, then they can't be expected to do better in other categories either. To be sure, they've never taken an objective approach to how dumbed down sites like CBR became over the years. And with that kind of superficial, unobjective approach made in journalism, it's no wonder that there's no point in keeping a category for news reporting at the Eisners. Basically, I think what it is the Eisner Awards are finally recognizing sites like um, CBR no longer news sites; they're more like shill sites, and that's not shilling is not journalism, folks. Shilling is not journalism. Okay? Far from it. Hey, Rick. Thanks for popping in. If you haven't already, of course, you can like and share the stream. See if we can get some more friendly people to engage. Also, as I said, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions. I'll try to answer the questions to the best of my ability. Let's see now. Where are we? Oh yeah. But then, what's the use of the Eisners at this point either? If it turns out that they don't want to give awards to right-wing artists. As Aaron Sparrow at Clownfish TV points out, the sites crying about it are of the worst lot. This coming from Aaron Sparrow here. The problem with old school comics journalism is that it is rotten to the core, yes, but it's also that the traditional news website with the easily culled and controlled comments section is the horse and buggy, and the customers are driving shiny new Model Ts. Sites like Bleeding Cool and The Beat, propaganda at worst and yellow journalism at best, are dinosaurs thrashing around in the tar, refusing to admit they're already dead. Oh, not a nice little image there, to say the least. But yeah, these sites, like they're talking about, like Bleeding Cool and CBR, they're chill sites now. They're not legit, news sites. They're they're chill sites. Let's see. And now back to Avi here. For now, the cancellation of the journalism category at the Eisners is no loss, and it won't be when the awards committee closes down either. Comics journalism has long been plagued with leftism as much as loyalism to the establishment, and that's why it's best if they've canned the category. So there we go. There we go with that one. Well, we got some more that will go over here. So the first of the 3 comics articles that we're covering here. 28 minutes, okay. Let's see now. Now moving on to the next article. Also came about yesterday. Dynamite's Thundercats #1 could become publisher's biggest launch. Article by John Pallister, published yesterday, the 22nd. So, Dynamite Entertainment's upcoming Thundercats title will debut to high sales with 170,000 copies sold, making it one of the biggest launches of the decade. The license to produce comics based on the popular Thundercats franchise. Some of us out there grew up watching Rankin Bass's Thundercats growing up, as well as Silverhawk. I remember those cartoons. Has bounced from publisher to publisher over the years, with varying degrees of success. Dynamite's Thundercats already has buzz and excitement surrounding its impending release, and it bucks a franchise trend. I guess Declan Shalview and Drew Moss are the 2 creators behind it. So there you go. You got Lionel up front there. You got over his left shoulder there. You got Tigra. You got Chitara right there, and then behind Chitara, of course, Wily Kid and Wily Cat. And even with Wily Cat, they kind of did a slight change on her hairstyle too. Then you got Panthro driving the Thunder Tank, and There's their version of Snarf. Snarf doesn't look like the same cowardly little fuzzball he was in the original series, does he? Ah, let's see now. There we go. Oh, Rick had a couple. Thunder, thunder, Thundercats! Ho! Interesting new costume. Yep. Yeah, the art's interesting too. I mean, you look at Snarf's redesign there too. You know, kind of they actually have him with claws there. Let's go back up for a moment. Look at Snarf there. He's got more claws. It looks a little stronger there, just in appearance. Not the, as I said, not the same cowardly little fuzzball that we saw in the original cartoon. Dynamite confirmed that Thundercats #1, which was written by Declan Shalvey and drawn by Drew Moss, has already sold 100,000 copies ahead of the FOC final order cutoff date. Now, Dynamite has revealed that orders for Thundercats #1 have exceeded expectations with 170,000 copies spoken for already. Wow, already. Thundercats will take a quote unquote back to basics approach to the franchise, showing their arrival on Third Earth, as well as their initial encounters with Mumra and his henchmen, the Evil Mutants. Now, for those of you who don't remember, the Evil Mutants were actually a rival planet, you know, whereas the Thundercats came from the planet Thundera, and I think the Evil Mutants had their own, you know, you had like Slide, the reptilian, you had Monkeyan, you had Jackal Man, and then of course Vulture Man, Rotaro, all came later. Let's see. Thundercats #1 hit stores February 7th from Dynamite. So in a couple weeks here, it looks like. Well, there we go. I kind of knew that one was going to be a quickie. Usually, when it's just released, there's not really a whole lot of controversy in release stuff. Just now, here's the last of the articles we're going to go over tonight, and this one happened earlier. This one was posted earlier today, of course. Amazing Spider-Man #1 brings in over 1.3 million at auction. Article by Avi Green, published earlier today. There's a CGC pedigree grade card, 9.8. So, from what I understand, that's actually pretty high. There, look at that. Amazing Spider-Man #1. And that had the Fantastic Four guest starring in his Millions. So the New York Post. So this is from Avi here. The New York Post tells of another dreary auctioning of an old classic premiere issue. Here of Spider-Man first as a series. In parentheses here. Remember, of course, that Spidey first debuted in the last issue of Amazing Fantasy number 15, selling for the usual $1,000,000+ Going to the New York Post article here. Mm-hmm. A near perfect copy of the Amazing Spider-Man #1 sold for over 1.3 million at auction, breaking the record for the highest price the issue has ever fetched on the block. The unrestored copy of the Marvel Heroes self-titled series debut was purchased for a staggering bid of $1,380,000 through Dallas-based Heritage Auctions on Thursday. The record-breaking sale was part of a large comic auction and included a 7.0 grade fine, very fine copy of Superman #1, which sold for $2.3 million. Industry experts said that Spidey Comics 9.8, quote, near mint condition, unquote, grade by Certified Guaranteed Company, CGC, a comics industry standard, easily justifies the seven-figure price tag. Back to Avi now. But why must the whole speculator market be considered justifiable? It's long come at the expense of actual reading, to say nothing of story merit. When I read these kind of articles, it's simply frustrating, and as I've said before, it's not improving the industry's reputation because of how entertainment value is marginalized in the process. All right, would have liked to see him, talk a little bit more about that, but oh well. Anyways, I'm gonna need to step away from the computer for a moment here, so I will be back. I'll put some music on while I'm gone, of course. Entertain you guys while I'm gone. Let me see now. I do need to step away for a moment, so I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. So now that we got through the articles there, now would probably be a good time. I guess I shouldn't have did that quickly, because. So now we can get to the wrestling wrap up here. As of course, look back to last night's Monday Night Raw, as it were. As of course, they're just a few more days away. This Saturday is this Saturday is the Royal Rumble. Also, there's some other interesting news items that came out of WWE today. First off, let's go over the results from last night's Raw and some of the things that came out of last night's Raw. So let's see. The tag team match between Imperium of Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci and the New Day of Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods ended in a double countout. As we'd mentioned the last couple of days here, the New Day is set to make an appearance on the upcoming online WWE talk show, The Bump, with, of course, their third, New Day member, Biggie Langston. Ivy Nile defeated Valhalla. Dominic Mysterio with Finn Balor and JD McDonough in his corner defeated The Miz. Ivar showcased his singles skills. He defeated Chad Gable. Two guys here who are known a bit more for their tag team wrestling, but Ivar with his tag partner on the shelf for right now, getting a bit of a chance to have a bit of a singles run. Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark defeated Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell in the women's tag team matches, as the WWE is finally starting to promote more of their women's tag team matchup. And then in the main event, Drew McIntyre defeated Damian Priest. Now, some people are critical because it was also announced on last night's Monday Night Raw that Seth Rollins is going to be out for a while, so he may not be able to defend the title. Would have been a perfect opportunity for Damian Priest to cash in his Money in the Bank, but yet he's chosen not to do so. Some other things that happened on, of course, Raw last night included let's see, a confrontation between Cody Rhodes and CM Punk, where CM Punk claimed to be the real American Dream. Kind of taking a shot at not just Cody Rhodes, but at Cody's father as well. And Cody kind of fired back that, he's the real. But now remember, these two were in AEW together too for a short dip there, I believe. Well, yeah, and I think part of 21 and 22, basically, whenever CM Punk first went back there. Which, of course, also led to another thing with AEW, and I know I didn't get a chance to mention this, but AEW is bringing back their ranking system, which was apparently stopped because it was CM Punk who suggested that they end the ranking system. But we'll get into more AEW news in a moment here, of course. Some other big news coming out of the WWE. First off, now, reasons not known, but Kevin Patrick has been taken off of SmackDown's commentary team. Now, who will replace him is not yet known, but he's apparently, for whatever reason, was taken off SmackDown's commentary team. Also, let's see. So now, starting in January of 2025, the WWE will actually be on the Monday Night Raw will actually be on Netflix. Netflix has got, with a $5 million deal, has secured the rights to for the next 10 years, starting in January 2025. Going to be broadcasting Raw on Netflix. Now the WWE's current contract with USA actually ends in September. Now, whether or not USA will still carry it for the remainder of the year till the end of the year, because there's a 3-month gap there between when their contract with USA comes up and when they start their Netflix deal. Also, in other news as well, it has apparently been reported that New Japan ace Kazuchika Okada, whose contract is coming up soon with New Japan, will be has signed to the WWE and will be starting out with NXT. Some other contract news, of course. Finn Balor and Drew McIntyre's contracts are due to come up after WrestleMania. So, just some interesting notes there of those things. Now let's look at some AEW news real quick here. Before we, as of course tomorrow night's Dynamite, as AEW continues its march towards its Revolution pay-per-view in March, Sting's final match. So on tomorrow night, let's see, tomorrow night's of course tomorrow night. So set for tomorrow night's Dynamite include in another match in the Cope Open, as it were, Adam Copeland answering open challenges to earn to supposedly earn. Now, technically, he does have a right to challenge Christian already because he did beat Christian, even if his title reign lasted only a matter of minutes because of the whole situation with Luchasaurus. But in Adam Copeland's continual attempt to, quote unquote, earn a shot at Christian's TNT title, he'll be taking on Minoru Suzuki tomorrow night. Also on tomorrow night's Dynamite, Swerve Strickland takes on Jeff Hardy. Hangman Adam Page takes on Penta El Zero Miedo. Wardlow takes on Trent Beretta, and then in the main event of tomorrow night's show, Billy Gunn and the Acclaimed will be defending the AEW World Trios Championship against the Mogul Embassy's Brian Cage, Bishop Khan, and Toa Liona, coming off of their loss to Bullet Club Gold. Losing the Ring of Honor World Six-Man Tag Title. So now they jump right into another six-man tag championship match. So that's all we got for you on that. For now, there's of course more news come out, as the week goes on. So with that, today is Tuesday, January 23rd, 2024. Go ahead and take a look back at this day. Teach history. History! Alright, so first off, we're going to go back to 40 years ago today, to a very famous day in professional wrestling. As on this date, 40 years ago today, you could argue was the birth date of Hulkamania. And on this date, 40 years ago today, Hulk Hogan defeats the Iron Sheik to win the WWF Heavyweight Championship before a sellout crowd at New York's Madison Square Garden. The match was live on both the MSG network in the New York, New Jersey markets and nationally on USA Network, and would in time be seen as the match that fundamentally changed professional wrestling. Basically going from the old, sports promotion to sports entertainment. This is also, as I said, the day that could argue that Hulkamania was born. With his, again, defeat of the Iron Sheik for the WWF world title. So with that, I'm getting ready to move on to the next piece of niche history. We move 10 years after that. As going back 30 years ago today, on this date, 30 years ago today, Madeline was canceled. So after one season on Family Channel, Madeline was canceled on the Family Channel to be, of course, picked up later, be revived later by ABC the following year, 1995. But on this date in 1994, Madeline was canceled on the Family Channel. Moving ahead now to the next piece of niche history as we move ahead to 2009, which of course is 15 years ago today. On this date, 15 years ago today. This year, 15 years ago today, Dame's Strawberry Marshmallow Encore OVA was released on this date back in 2009. Strawberry Marshmallow Encore from Dame Studio was released on this date back in 2009, 15 years ago today. And finally, on this date 5 years ago today, back in 2019, on this date in 2019, 5 years ago today, the 15th and final issue of Regression from Image Comics went on sale on this date 5 years ago today. It sold for $3.99, had a page count of 28. So on this date, 5 years ago today, the 15th and final issue of Regression from Image Comics went on sale on this date 5 years ago today. So with that, I do thank everybody for being here tonight. I hope everybody enjoyed the show. If you haven't already, you can like and share the stream. See if we can get some people eyes on it. But with that, I thank everybody for being here. Don't forget that, of course, this Friday, I'll have RJ Carter with me as we'll be going over books that went on sale from, we'll be going over books that went on sale from Fox Feature Syndicate back in January of 1940. We'll be, of course, focusing in on Blue Beetle Volume 1, Issue 1, just a simple acknowledgement. And then Science Comics Volume 1, Issue 1. So we'll take a look at some of that. So with all that being said, I thank everybody for being here. I hope you all enjoyed the show. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye.